Hey, I wanted to tell you something, and it's so much easier to tell you in a video than it is to try to, it's just too much. Not, uh, not that it makes any difference, but who knows, right? Rob just called me, and there is a guy in prison with him that's only going to be there a couple of weeks, I think, that is from McDowell County, okay? That's where all this mess happened with this girl getting murdered, and they ended up putting Rob in jail for it. Okay, all right. So Rob has been thinking about this is real interesting. Whether it gets him out or not. But okay, Rob didn't do this murder. He has thought all these years that a guy named Robin Whited did it. But then just here lately, he has thought about this guy, Robin, and this other guy, Jody Stewart, who they were kind of like together, and like the day after some sort of big wild party that went on, that was the night that Rob thinks this girl got killed. Jody was dreading moving something. He and Robin were supposed to go move something. Well, Janet, it turns out they moved a rolled up carpet. Okay. I mean, how wild is that, right? I mean, I read this isn't just Rob talking. I read the report that the deputy, I've read the report that the deputy wrote down the statements, okay, that didn't enter into the trial for some reason. But not only did they talk about putting a rolled up carpet in the back of Robin's pickup truck, I mean, the neighbor saw him do it. He had it slung over his shoulder. But Robin referred to the carpet one time as her or she. I mean, he referred to it as she. And then he corrected himself. I mean, okay. All right. So, and like I say, I've read that. I've read that witness statement. Okay. Listen to this. Okay, so Rob just called me and was telling me he gets an update from this guy that's from Marion County, okay, of kind of some stuff that happened after his trial, okay? This guy told Rob that it wasn't a week. Okay, Rob has figured out that Jody Stewart is probably the one that killed her, not Robin Whited. And anyway, about a week, less than a week after the trial, and they found Rob guilty, and they sent him off to prison, Jody Stewart went and burned both of those trailers down. The trailer that Rob and Robin had stayed in, the trailer where they found a speck of blood on the ceiling. I mean, in other words, the crime scene. This trailer where Robin, I mean, he was cleaning and he shampooed the carpets. He did all this kind of stuff. I mean, why was he doing that? If Rob would have killed her, why wouldn't Rob be shampooing the carpets, Anyway, so turns out that like a week after the trial, Jody goes and burns that trailer down. And also there was a trailer next door. Apparently somebody owned, the people like lived in the trailer next door, and then they rented out the trailer that Rob and that guy lived in, okay? Anyway, Jody Stewart went and burned both of those trailers down a week after, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble thinking. A week after the trial, he burned those things down. Okay, weird, right? Anyway, Then Jody Stewart is now dead. And I saw his obituary. I found it while I was talking to Rob. He was only 48 years old. And I mean, I don't know what he died of, if he killed himself, if he overdosed. I mean, these were people that did drugs and stuff, you know? Okay, so that. Then, okay, Dudley Green was the sheriff. He had to step down from something. I don't think he's sheriff anymore. He had to step down for, Rob told me so much, it's almost like too much to remember, right? Anyway, he had to step down from being sheriff, I think. But anyway, also another guy, the detective, his name was Dan Shook, okay? And a lot of the statements that I have read from Rob, you know, from his case, were by this detective, Dan Shook. Okay. Well, sometime later, I don't know when, you know, I mean, this all happened 13 years ago now. Sometimes later, they were investigating Dan Shook for something, and he killed himself. I mean, can you believe? I mean, gosh. Anyway, it just seems like everybody that had anything to do with that case is dead. I mean, not what I'm saying is, I mean, Rob didn't even know that girl had been murdered until they come talking to him about her, you know, and say, you know. But anyway, I don't know what it all means. I told Rob, I said, you know what, just means they're all a bunch of crooks. I mean, apparently Dan Shook killing himself because they were investigating him. I mean, he was a detective. It just shows he was crooked. And Jody Stewart, I don't know. I mean, I wonder if he killed himself. But I mean, he did go burn those 2 trailers down that were the crime scene. I mean, he destroyed all the evidence. So anyway, I thought it was just kind of interesting. I told Rob, I said, you know, write it to the IP, the Innocence Project. I mean, he writes, I said, you just bug them and bug them and bug them. And, you know, anything you think of, you write it to him. And, I mean, he does. And, you know, he's liable to say something. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff. I mean, he would have been, he was his own, he would have been a better lawyer than his lawyer was. In fact, there's even another guy in prison there who had the same attorney that Rob had. What's that guy's name? Newman. Gregory Newman. N-E-W-M-A-N, I think. Up in North Carolina. Anyway, this guy got in trouble for something he didn't do. I mean, he was innocent. It's nothing serious. I mean, it was like a robbery or something, you know. I mean, but anyway, he didn't do it. But Gregory Newman was his lawyer, and he's serving time for something he didn't do. Rob said, yep, I know exactly what you mean. Anyway, it was just a crazy conversation I had with him just now. So, I mean, like I say, I don't know. I mean, I like to think that maybe God is putting things, you know, things have a way of falling into place when you kind of turn it over to God. I mean, things just kind of fall into place, you know. And I'm hoping these things are just, you know, because I just saw something not too long ago on Facebook. It said, you know, just because God seems like he's silent doesn't mean he's not doing something on your behalf. So it's a nice thought. I mean, we don't know what is going on behind the scenes, you know. But anyway, I thought you'd enjoy hearing that just because I wanted somebody to tell. You know, kind of like me when I had all my financial woes. I just wanted to tell you. And this is pretty good. I mean, it's a good way of kind of visiting. You can visit with me. Oh, here comes my baby. This dog. ever since I've been, ever since I've been gone. I mean, he used to. This is Sam. He used to sleep on the foot of my bed, and now he's always up here on my pillow. I think he doesn't want me to leave, but anyway, he's laying right on top of me. See his butt's right there. Okay, well, I love you. I'll talk to you later. You can tell me whatever you think. Nothing. I mean, if you think anything about what I've told you, let me know.